I'm making this video because I really think this needs to be addressed. Transgender people have been well in the spotlight for a while now, so maybe it's time that we got how to address them properly. I've had arguments with cisgender people who have told me what they call trans people, despite me telling them that it makes us uncomfortable. So, things you should avoid, words you should avoid, phrases, sentences, whatever, things you should avoid when talking to a transgender person. Don't use transgendered. Don't use transgenders, because they're both not really applicable. Transgender is a describing word, like, you know, open. You wouldn't say, oh, look at that open. You would say, look at that open door. That's why transgender sounds silly when you say, oh, it's a transgender. It's like, no, it's a transgender person, or it's a transgender girl, or it's a transgender man, or, you know, you don't just say, oh, look, transgenders, because it sounds stupid, and it makes you sound kind of uneducated. When you say this to a transgender person, normally they are really, really trying not to roll their eyes in annoyance at the fact you've used this. Now, when talking about trans people or trying to date transgender people, now I've noticed this in many groups and stuff on Facebook that I'm in, is you'll get people posting up saying, I'm attracted to M2Fs. And it's like, so you're attracted to girls because, you know, transgender people aren't really their own gender category unless they're non-binary. Now, the binary transgender people tend to stick with female or male. I like to be called a female because that's what I know I am. So when people try and put it into a separate category, it seems kind of creepy. In the community, we call people who go after trans women specifically chasers. And chasers can be annoying and irritating and degrading and demeaning. They tend to focus on our genitals and see us not much more than sex objects. There was a guy in a cafe that I actually met, and he came up to me. This is an actual quote, and it'll lead into the next thing that you never use about trans people. So he walked up to me, and he had been in a place before. I've spoke to him a few times before. I think he was high or something, because he said to me, he goes, I would cheat on my wife for you. He told me that he knew that I was a she-male. He just said it. I knew you were a she-male since you walked in. And I was like, how would you know something like that? And he goes, oh, I watch a lot of she-male porn. Very chaserish. I had to get out of there fast because I felt so uncomfortable. So yes, she-male is a word you must never use because it's a porn name, really. It's a name for sex workers in the trans industry. And it's not really a name that you should apply to anybody. It's like calling like one of your friends or a random woman in the street a prostitute. Why would you do that? It's just stupid. You'd have to be a very, very horrible person if you're going to do something like that, which is what calling someone a she-male is. Now, the word tranny. I can say it because I am transgender. If you are cisgender and watching this, you cannot say it. It's like the N-word. We can say it to reclaim it because it's often used as discrimination towards us. So we are allowed to say it because we're trans. It's just like how the black people use the N-word. I would never use that word because that word is disgusting if I say it and use it because I am white. Just as saying tranny is really, really offensive and inappropriate, and if you say it, well, be prepared for a lot of backlash. Now, another thing you should maybe think a little bit about when you talk to a transgender person is, right, if you are going to bring up the toilet argument, which gets boring, believe me, as a transgender person, we hear about the toilet argument all the time. it's okay to talk about it. If you're going to say, oh, it's awful that this happened and I'm going to vote to change it. But if you stand up there or even message or talk and say, I'm not transphobic, but I think that if you've got a penis, you should use the men's room. And if you've got a vagina, you should use the women's room. That is very transphobic. That is saying that people are their genitals. I think I'm more than my genitals. I hope that you would think that you are more than your genitals. If you think that you are just your genitals, I think you have got some sort of disorder or something, and you need to see a doctor about that, because it sounds like a form of delusion or something if you honestly believe you are just a set of genitals walking about. So yeah, just don't. Words that I'm looking to, phrases that you should not say is, so you were a man, or oh, you were a woman before this. Were you born a man? Who the fuck's born a man? Oh, congratulations, it's a man. What? No one was born a man. No one was born a woman. You were born infants or children or babies, but you weren't born a man or a woman. So just drop that. What was your name before? Forget that one. Get that sentence completely out of your vocabulary. Something I'm personally trying to drop, a lot of the community still use it, but I think it's backdated and old-fashioned, is to female and female to male, or male to female and female to male. Now, the reason I think this is backdated is because it implies that I was once male, then became female. That is not the case. I have always felt like a girl, despite being assigned a gender at birth. Now, I think that assigned male at birth works much better. So that would be sorry, my dyspraxia makes me difficult for spelling stuff. Okay, let's put it up above my head. So assigned male at birth does what it says in the tin. It means that you are forced into a gender box at your birth. So it's much better, I feel. I think it does the job better than male to female because it's not as offensive or hurtful. And one last thing I'm going to talk about in this video, I don't really know if it's trans-related. I don't think it is. Well, it depends it depends on if the person themselves is transgender, but when you're talking about intersex people, please don't call them hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites don't exist in the human race. They exist in the animal kingdom in some cases, like some lizards and stuff, but a human cannot be hermaphrodite. This is an outdated medical term, and recently they have updated it to intersex because intersex is far more applicable to a human being. If you call someone a hermaphrodite, you are probably an asshole. Just saying. You know, if I get offended at the word hermaphrodite, I'm quite sure that a lot of intersex people will be offended too. I think I read somewhere that intersex people will use the word hermaphrodite just to take it back, just like how transgender people take the word tranny, and just like how black people take the N-word back. You should not use that word. It's kinda wrong and stuff. Hey, so if you like this video, why don't you give it a good old like down there somewhere? Or you can, comment if you have anything to say. Or if you would like to see more of my videos, it would be really cool if you subscribe, because not only does it give me a little joy to see that people are actually enjoying my stuff and want to see more, but I also will tell you when new videos are released. Incidentally, if you would like to see more videos like this, like up here, nice video here for you, or if you would like to see something completely different, there's stuff over here. Look at all this wonderful stuff. Whoa. So they're at your disposal as well. The choice truly is yours. The choice is yours. I mean, that looks pretty interesting. kind of cool what's going on there. And again, that is pretty awesome as well. Decisions. You need to choose something, otherwise I'm just going to be strapped here inside this box, which I do not really want to be. You know, I've got places I need to go, things I need to do, just general stuff. And the longer it takes for you to click on one of these, the longer I'm trapped here, and I don't really want to be trapped here. You know, there's plenty of other things you can be doing right now. Hell, I've even suggested videos, not even by me, some of them, but anything so that it gets me out of this box, because, you know, it's kind of cramped and I don't really like it. Come on, please. Just click something. Why have you trapped me here? Come on, please let me out. Are you even still there? Hello? Hello? Please, come on. Is anybody there? Come on, please. Let me out. Please, just do anything. I'm gonna have to find a way to escape. Oh, hold on.